Call to order this regular meeting of the Page County School Board. Need a motion to allow.
I make a motion that we allow Taylor Alder to participate virtually.
Second.
We have a motion by Dr. Painter and a second by Mr. Dubler to allow Ms. Alger to participate virtually.
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Dr. Painter? Yes. Mr. Dubler?
Yes.
Ms. Holden Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Dr. Painter? Yes. Ms. Alger?
Yes.
Yes.
Ms. Holden Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Moore?
Yes. Please pause for a minute of silence as we prepare for the meeting tonight. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dr. Fox, do you have any agenda changes or additions?
I do not.
Have a motion to approve the agenda?
I make a motion that we approve the agenda as given.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Sullivan Street and a second by Mr. Painter to approve the agenda as presented.
Ms. Alger?
Yes.
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Dr. Painter? Yes. Mr. Dubler?
Yes.
Ms. Holden Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Madam Chairman, I'd like to certify the personnel matters discussed in closed sections according to section 2.2-3711A1.
Full second.
A motion by Mrs. Sullivan Street and a second by Ms. Alger to certify personnel matters discussed in closed session.
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Dr. Painter?
Yes.
Mr. Dubler?
Yes.
Ms. Alger?
Yes.
Ms. Holden Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Moore?
Yes. So we have one written citizen comment. Did everybody get it?
I didn't, but I just read off his.
Okay. And then we have a couple, we have two here in person, correct? I'm going to read the statement, I guess, before. The Page County School Board welcomes citizen comment during regular meetings. School board members do not respond to public comment during the meeting. All comments should address the matter related to Page County Public Schools. The school board will not hear public comment that involves an individual student-related matter, the disclosure of which would violate applicable confidentiality requirements. The school board expects that each speaker will be courteous, modeling for our students how one can respectfully agree or disagree with others' views. Speakers will address their comments to the entire school board and not to one individual board member, nor to the superintendent, a staff member, or the audience. Speakers will have 3 minutes to present their comments from the podium.
Brittany Sullivan.
Good evening, everyone. I'm a parent of a student at Shenandoah. All 4 of my children and myself all have attended Shenandoah Elementary School. But my child there now is a special needs child. All these years, we have prayed for better at Shenandoah, and finally our prayers were answered. When Mr. Harlow come along, then in the blink of an eye, our school is tore apart within weeks of an awesome new school year. 2 of the best are gone. We went from a courtyard that looked like a jungle to a complete courtyard makeover. From bathrooms that looked like a prison restroom to bright, clean bathrooms. Nasty-looking lockers that was prison-like as well, to clean, fresh, painted lockers to cheer on our school pride. This list could go on longer than my 3 minutes given here. This is all thanks to Mr. Harlow, the only principal our school has ever had to take pride in our school and our children. We have two amazing members of Shenandoah Elementary out at this time that our school needs, that has our children and school's best interests at heart. But yet we bring back a staff member from last year that has already talked to our students and asked them to keep their mouths shut on the matter. We bring her back, but we take too good out. Please make this make sense to the community of Shenandoah and Page County. Our school would not be what it is right now without the amazing work that Mr. Harlow has done. He has spent his entire summer, and I can stand here and say that because I've been by his side every moment at that school and watched every little thing he has done to make our school so much better. I'm 36 years old. I attended there. The school looked the same as it did when I went there as an elementary student. You walk in the doors now, you see bright, cheerful, a place kids want to be, not this dark, dull atmosphere. These kids have come so far, depending on Mr. Harlow. The joy you see in their faces, and Mr. Harlow's there to greet them in the morning and send them off in the evening. It is a big, 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 big difference with him not there right now. And our school is hurting because he actually cares. He is our first principal that has ever showed any heart towards anything with our school. He listens to the parents. He listens to the children. You've never had a principal that's gone above and beyond for our school like y'all do right now with Mr. Harlow. Thank you.
Good evening, board members, Dr. Fox, members of the group. Thank you for allowing me to address you this evening, and I promise I'll be brief. As a parent of a child at Shenandoah Elementary, and like every other parent or guardian of said children who attend there, I received an email from Dr. Fox concerning the current administrative situation at Shenandoah Elementary School. And I do appreciate the opportunity to speak before you today. I would like to start by emphasizing this. To say that my wife and I adore our son is an understatement. We want nothing more than for Ben to live the best life possible with every opportunity that we can provide. With that said, we have chosen to raise him in Shenandoah. Part of that decision has been based on the past 2 years that Ben has spent at Shenandoah Elementary, along with the excellent teachers that he has had. And in that time, we've never had to second guess his well-being or his physical safety with Mr. Corey Harlow, as either an assistant principal or principal. Mr. Harlow has handled every situation that has come his way with a student-first approach. And I have been in his office on different occasions dealing with different situations. And each time I've been there, Mr. Harlow was fair and was always willing to work with us to ensure that Ben's school experience was and is a positive. Now, in closing, I would like to add this. Ben came home today, and we always ask him how his day's gone. And today he said, good, but they canceled our dance party. And I thought to myself, how sad. It is my hope that as you sit down in your discussions, that you keep an open mind and do what's right for Shenandoah Elementary and the children that go there. Because at the end of the day, as our motto is, if I'm not mistaken, our children are what matter the most. And we are, if I'm also not mistaken, in this business for them. With that said, it is my opinion that it would be a great disservice to the children at Shenandoah to not have Mr. Harlow continue to serve our community and our school as principal of Shenandoah Elementary. Ben and the children that attend Shenandoah deserve nothing less than to have an administrator who goes above and beyond to ensure that Shenandoah Elementary is the best it can be. Again, thank you for your time and consideration in this matter, and I hope the dance parties continue. Thank you.
Consent agenda. Motion.
I move that we accept the consent agenda that's presented here.
Second. We have a motion by Mr. Gubler and a second by Mrs. Sullivan Smoot to approve the consent agenda.
Dr. Painter? Yes. Mr. Goodwin?
Yes.
Ms. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Ms. Sullivan Smoot?
Yes.
Ms. Gordon?
Yes. Student and school board representatives, Dr. Cox?
Yes, so I'm excited this evening to introduce you all to our second school board representative. So Mr. Sebastian Bush is joining us tonight. He's a junior at Page County High School, where he currently serves as the president of the class of 2025. He's an active member of the FFA and looks forward to becoming an officer in the other organizations this year and that organization as well. Sebastian is taking dual enrollment courses and looks to earn his associated degree in business from Laurel Ridge when he graduates and then attend the University of Virginia. He's eager to serve as a student representative from PCHS because he's passionate about his education and that of his peers. He has a desire to make a positive impact on his school and his community. He's a critical thinker and a creative problem solver with a positive attitude who believes that by working together to achieve common goals, our work can benefit everyone. So welcome, Sebastian. We're excited to have you.
Good evening, board. Dr. Fox. Just want to give you a brief update on what we've been doing as far as the Aspire Mentor program. I had the opportunity to speak at our meeting with the community members this past evening, Tuesday. So Aspire stands for Achieving Success, Pursuing Individual Resilience and Excellence. So our goal, Mr. Painter, you like that? I know you did. I'll write it down for you later. So our goal is to help all of our students, kindergarten through 12th grade, to pursue that excellence. So we're doing that in a partnership with our community, so faith-based, business organizations, community members, teachers, people that want to be involved, right? So the first step is we've launched an application as well as a digital link that people can sign up. Once they sign up, their application will be screened internally here by the central office and our staff. Once they pass that rubric, they'll then be invited to a training, approximately about an hour and a half training that our staff's going to put on some very basics to get them started. Once they get started in the program, we'll match them up with the school they desire to go to or help them find the school they'd like to be a part of. And then the principal, administration, and the school community coordinator at that school then have students selected for them. The ask is 40 minutes a week to come in and meet with those students and then make those connections, build positive relationships, help them mentor, to have another positive role model. So like after the training, we'll do a very extensive background check just to make sure everything's good on the uppity up, and then so that's sort of the really intense part of our volunteer mentorship. We're also piloting the Watchdogs program at Lee Ray Elementary School. We're kicking that off October the 12th. We're going to have a big pizza party and invite in positive male role models, but also moms of marvelous students is the under. It's Nikki, it's a marvelous student. So we're going to get more, that's a lesser commitment. That's a one-time commitment throughout the school year that you'll come in, you'll have time with your student, and then you also matched up with some other classrooms that participate. So those are our two focuses right now with our mentor person. Questions? Thank you again for your support.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Ryman, instructional update?
Yes, good evening, board members. So brief instructional update for you this evening. The first thing that I wanted to highlight is this past week, we had the Kindness Ninja visit again, our 4 elementary schools. This year's ninja was Ms. Kelly Parati, and she came and talked about and promoted the we have a desire here in PCPS and within each of our schools to promote ideals around kindness. So she helped to reinforce that and help our students understand and learn ways that they can do even the simplest of acts every day to make a difference and be kind in this world. So you can see there's some pretty little excited faces. I like the little guy on the right corner of that one little picture. His visor. He's really into it. And then yesterday, actually, the days are running together. Yesterday, we had our first internal work group meeting with a group we put together right now of elementary folks to plan our work towards the Virginia Literacy Act implementation. We know we want to spend this year. The last time a literacy guide had been developed was 2018. So we're looking at that mission and vision for that, hoping to readapt that, knowing where we want to go, what we see the future for PCPS in line with the expectations within the Literacy Act. So we started talking about that. You can see a list of the individuals that were involved there, and that'll just be ongoing work that will keep you abreast of how that's going. And then a little recap. Last week we had, on September 20th, as you know, we had our first 2-hour delay day that we planned in the calendar. So we thought we'd give you a little information about that. Teachers did seem appreciative of that time. They engaged in individual planning. Some chose on their own because this was totally unstructured time, no PD commitments or other things. But some did choose to either meet by grade level or department or even across schools. They zoomed in with each other to engage in work that was by their choice. We hosted the morning daycare for students up through 6th grade at our elementary schools. 91 students had registered and 65 students attended. They had games and activities to do during that time. So we know we have another one coming up in October. We have, I think, 5 or 6 of those planned for the course of the year. Calendar committee will be meeting next week already. So we're going to keep our eye on that and see how it looks. The only thing I should have put on there as well, we did check attendance for that day because obviously we have our eyes on attendance a lot. And all of our schools were 90% or above with attendance. So it didn't seem to really impact that piece. And then lastly, another accreditation, a piece of that update is our graduation and completion index from this past year for each high school, along with the dropout rate. Of course, those are always very high for Luray High and Page High, which we're very, very proud of. I don't think anybody will feel ever great that they're not 100, right? I mean, that's what everyone wants. But there's realities that go with that and the various needs that are met to help all of our students to ensure they get what they need and different paths to help them be successful. We're so very proud of the work that they're doing. Oh, do you have any questions?
On the dropout, any information as to the reasons as to why they dropped out?
I mean, it varies a little bit. Of course, they're small numbers, so
Yeah.
take careful on how we talk about those things
I
for individual
understand.
students. But it varies, and again, I know our administrators, our counselors work closely. They talk with us to help find other things and services that we can help those students get, whether that be other GED related services, things like that. Yes.
I mentioned this before, maybe a few years back, but it'd be neat to somehow track
Yes.
where our graduates end up.
Well, it's interesting that you asked that.
Yeah.
So we remember that you had asked about that last year.
Okay.
And we did an exit survey this past year with seniors.
Yeah.
And we collected an email from them that's not a PCPS email because we need to be able to get a hold of them later. So our hope is to use that information. We'll start to do that annually so that, whether it's a year out, 3 years out, what have you, we can check in on them.
Yeah.
See where they are.
The volunteer service, right?
Yes, yes.
So just a question on the HVAC program at Laurel Ridge. So when we have a 2-hour delay, Laurel Ridge does not
Correct.
adhere
Yes.
to that. So that student has to get a ride.
Yes, so we have to work out transportation accommodations for any kids we have like that were a variety of dual enrollment circumstances. Our governor school kids still when it's on time, things like that.
Okay.
Yes.
So are we working that out or they just have to work that out?
No, we're working that out and working with those organizations to help make that happen.
Okay. I help
Because
you
we
out.
don't want a decision on our part and our calendar to impact them not be able to get to an opportunity at the, typical time.
We took care of it, but
Yes.
do the name.
So you mentioned a work group meeting yesterday for the VLA. So I guess more importantly right now, where's the work group for how you're going to implement this wonderful all-in tutoring that's supposed to be implemented in 2 weeks?
Yes, well, more to come on that, right, Dr. Fox? We're working on that. We're working
2
on that.
weeks.
We're working on the central office. We have a principals meeting next
Yeah.
week. We need to engage them more deeply in that conversation.
We'll update you. We wanted to have the conversation with the principals next week, and then we'll bring that information to you all at the next meeting.
Just so I understand, you said it's supposed to be implemented in 2 weeks?
By October 16th.
Well, we have to publish a plan of how it's the money that was in the new budget that was allocated. There's a portion of it that's allocated to recovery remediation for learning loss.
It's almost impossible, like 5 hours a week for
Yeah,
kids
it's-
that hit in certain brackets. It's almost impossible because you can't do it during certain parts of their day and they still get their recess. It's basically, when are you going to do it and where are you going to find people?
So therefore, the conversations, we're trying to engage as many people as we can because we're going to rely on teachers to potentially have to stay after school. We're going to ask for retired teachers to come in. We're going to ask the community if they can have an hour and they want to come and read with a child or solve math problems or help in that capacity. So that plan is going to be pretty intense because, like she said, it's a big ask.
No one's going to be able to do it with fidelity.
So we'll bring you our plan as we process through it. We didn't want to push anything out yet because we haven't had a chance to really talk with our principals and staff.
Thank you, Ms. Brennan. Dr. Fox, Superintendent update.
Yeah, so thank you. And while they're pulling that up, I just want to say thank you to our instructional aides helped. We rotated them through to help with the supervision for the before school care on the 2-hour delay. So thank you to them. They provided the supervision and support, and to our principals. Our elementary schools hosted those. So thank you to our principals and the staff at those schools for helping make that happen. We heard some positive things from a couple of parents saying thank you for providing that for the kids. So we'll continue that. And like Ms. Ryman said, we'll get some feedback on the impacts of that for parents and staff and decide whether that's something we want to continue in the coming year. Just an update for you all in terms of enrollment. We've been trying to, typically we give you this for the first couple months of school. Right now, I'm happy to say, knock on wood, we're still sitting at a plus 66, so that's a good sign for us. And I will continue to say we did go a little conservative, as you all know, but being at a plus 66 is a good thing. So I'm happy to see that number. Just wanted to let you know that as of September 30th of this year, all the ESSER 2 funding expires. So we have spent all of our money. None was left, Mr. Painter, in that fund. So, and this is just a smattering, an example of some of the things that we've spent that money on over the course of the last couple of years. So lots of money was devoted towards our summer school programs last summer and this summer, not only for staff, but for materials and supplies, including those camps we did for kids. Curriculum writing was done, the deep cleaning of the schools that used to happen because of COVID. A lot of instructional software and various assessments that teachers are using. The playground equipment, all 4 elementary schools all got new playground equipment. Our beautiful Promethean panels were all purchased with ESSER 2 funds. The outdoor furniture, we got some picnic tables at some of the schools so that kids could eat outside. We did get a new school bus, which is here and being used, I believe. Is that correct? We also managed to get a car for student transport. We do have a lot of students that are now being transported to other schools outside of the district for various reasons. And so having another car there is helpful for that. And then the cybersecurity vault. So just some examples. There's other things, but these are just some of the bigger items that the division chose to spend. It was about $2.8 million of ESSER 2 funding. Anything you want to add to that? No. And you'll confirm that we spent it down to zero, right?
We did.
Zero.
We did.
Right?
Have you done your report yet? Let's do.
We're working on it. Those reports, they're fun. We also just wanted to let you know, we talked about this earlier in the summer, but new state code required that any new threat assessment team members, they must complete an initial threat assessment training and then be recertified every 3 years. What we've decided to do as a division is anyone in our schools that is involved in the threat assessment process, we're holding a training tomorrow from the Department of Criminal Justice, and thank you, I always want to say juvenile justice, and it's not. The Department of Criminal Justice Services is providing the training tomorrow for our administrators, counselors, and SROs and other central office staff. So we'll know today, as of tomorrow, everybody is on. We know now the cycle. We're going to track when everybody was trained. We'll do this yearly for new people that come in and or anyone else who might want the training. So we'll be doing that tomorrow from 8:30 to 12:30 at Page High School. And just so that a reminder of what that means is anytime there's a self-harm threat or a threat to others, school staff are conducting those threat assessments. And then decisions are made from there in terms of what's in the best interest. There's a plan that comes from that threat assessment training. And then just a couple of quick updates. Mr. Hopkins spoke about this, but our student mentoring program is underway. We do want to thank Mr. Painter for his work with that, and Ms. Miller at Page Middle and her staff, because they piloted that for us last school year. So thank you for that. The Stop It app is out and being utilized. Currently, there are 17 incidences that have been reported and investigated. So we're grateful for kids using it and putting stuff in there, our administrators for jumping in and dealing with those things as they get reported. And then lastly, we had our community forum. Again, Mr. Hopkins mentioned that was on Tuesday. We had 37 people in attendance from a variety of different organizations and departments. We gave updates on our VDOE Community Schools grant that we are currently working with, and then we shared information about a U.S. Department of Education grant that we submitted and will know about in December. We talked about the Student Mentor Program, the Watchdogs and Moms of Marvelous Students program. Ms. Alger gave information on the community coordination events that have sort of come out of our conversations at the forum. JMU with Ms. Frazier from Healthy Families gave an update on the Being There program. And then English Henry from the Economic Development and Tourism Department of Page County talked about the housing tour that was taken to discuss affordable housing. We had a group discussion on what the next steps should be for our community forum. And then we concluded with Ms. Alger sharing some information, and our next one will be on November 5th at Luray High School. So just want to thank everybody for their participation and the ongoing effort with that community forum. That's all I have this evening. If you all have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Just a comment, I think we had about 12 or 13 new people attend the community. That's law enforcement, but it's more realty and all that kind of stuff. So it's really good stuff. More social services as well.
No
Yes,
campaigning?
I didn't see anybody campaigning.
campaigning. No campaign. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Fox. Ms. Seacrest, approval of claims for payment.
Yes, good evening, board members. You have been provided with the claim certification where the operating fund is $307,113.48. Food service fund, $42,999.18 for total expenditures of $350,112.66. Along with that, you have the list of claims as well as the check register. And if you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer those.
Make a motion that we accept the claims for payment as presented.
Second.
The motion by Mr. Gubler and a second by Mrs. Sullivan Smith to accept the claims for payment as presented.
Mr. Gubler.
Yes.
Ms. Alger. Yes. Mr. Painter.
Yes.
Dr. Pitts. Ms. Sullivan Smith.
Yes.
Ms. Ford.
Yes. Ms. Seacrest, purchase orders over 10,000.
Yes, board, we have two purchase orders over 10,000 for your consideration this evening. They were both using O&M funds for each of the high schools for filters, gasket hose, and dust collectors in both of the schools. And if you have any questions, I'll do my very best to answer those, but I'm not so sure that I'm the expert on this topic.
How often do those filters get changed out? Like twice a year?
So these are actually the dust collector systems up in the ceiling of the ag shops.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's different.
They're not the regular filter systems. This is a big system in both ag shops, yeah.
Gotcha.
Make a motion to approve the POs of more than $10,000 as presented.
A motion by Mr. Painter and a second by Ms. Alger to approve the purchase orders over 10,000.
Ms. Alger.
Yes.
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Dr. Painter?
Yes.
Mr. Booper?
Yes.
Sullivan Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Ford? Yes.
Thank you.
Board member discussion time?
I'd just like to send out a congratulations to our varsity football team at Page County High School for giving us a very exciting game and a great homecoming in. So congratulations and keep up the good work.
So on the mentorship program, I mean, thank you, Mr. Hopkins, for presenting that, and it's open to the schools. I encourage the community to get involved. This community only gets better when you're involved. I'll just give you, for instance, there's a Walt Surratt that I've served on many boards with for 20-some years in Page County, and I asked him about the mentorship up at Page County High School, and he volunteered right away. He's the former analyst for the government and economist as well. So he's going to be coming up. He's a great guy. So we need more people like that. We probably need, I'd say, at least 100 over through all the schools. We really wanted to cover some things. So there's opportunities there. The bus inventory, we talked about that with Esther too, and I know we've purchased some of those. I'd like to see that inventory again I know we had a lot of them in 1990 aged buses and see how we're getting along with moving those out and getting new ones in. And I just want to say that there's a lot of things that happen in a school system. And if everybody could just let the processes go by and if you have feedback, feel free to talk to anyone that's on the board. I think I see a lot of stuff on Facebook that just goes out of control in a lot of ways, and sometimes it's not the truth. And you got to give some time to get truth out there and just be patient with it. We're going to do the right things. I think we've tried to do that. It's going to continue to do that, but you just got to be patient with it.
I just have a quick item. I understand that the LHS golf team qualified for the region. This is a little old. This is 7 days old. Qualified for the Region 2B tournament at Heritage Oaks Golf Course in Harrisonburg, and that was a big deal. I understand. I don't think they've ever made it there. Correct? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's noteworthy. Congratulations.
I want to remind everybody that the RAM clinic is this weekend. The remote area medical clinic at Luray High School. And the recovery walk. So the remote area medical is Saturday and Sunday. I would encourage you, especially if you want dental or vision, to get there. Parking lot opens at midnight, so come prepared to check in and wait. But it's phenomenal services. Thank you, Dr. Fox and your team, for opening the school and working with us so we can host that there. I know we've got the pigtail situation straightened out this year, so we're good. We're on top of it before it happens. But that'll be Saturday and Sunday. And then also Saturday, there is a walk to celebrate recovery. This is September's Recovery Month. It's at Page County High School. There'll be a movie showing and a panel presentation. All of it starts about 5:30. Doors open at 5:30. And then we'll have a walk after that. So there's a lot going on this weekend.
Good stuff.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion by Dr. Painter, second by Mr. Painter to adjourn.
Mr. Painter.
Yes.
Dr. Painter. Dr. Painter.
Mr. Goodwin.
Yes.
Ms. Aldrich.
Yes.
Ms. Sullivan Smith.
Yes.
Ms. Bush. Yes.